Condo, corner where we rise and roll. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Condo, corner watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind.
From the shadows we move, striking out bright. In every twist we find the light. Breeding the best, gotta have patience in this game. Chondro corner where we make our name. Chondro corner, Chondro corner, Chondro corner, Chondro corner, Chondro corner, Chondro corner, Chondro corner. Chondro corner where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro corner, watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind.
What it do? Happy Monday, everybody. Happy Columbus Day. It's another banger tonight with my boy Cal. He backstage right now, but let me pay homage to the house real quick. Y'all already know the rundown. A Chondro Corner on Monday night, Retake Rundown on Tuesday, the Moat on Tuesday, Grow House on Wednesday, Clutch Conversations Thursday, Double Clutch Saturday night, and Morph Map on Sunday. Make sure y'all share out, hit the like button, everything. Thank y'all for coming through. Hey man, if you're looking for some of the best enclosures in the game, go ahead and get with my boy with Harlem Reptiles. Him and Mark Hager and Texas Chondros came up with some crazy cages together. Make sure y'all hit them up, let them know what's going on, man. Make sure let them know I sent you. Then, hey man, we got my boy Kyle in the building tonight. It's gonna be crazy. This show might go for a long time, letting y'all know, because we talking about two different species, the ins and outs, breeding two different kinds of arboreal species. So yeah, man. Oh, What it do, Chondro fam. Yeah, nothing really been going on with me lately. Still just raising up the neos. Well, the subadults now, the subadults. I got like about a year and a half before I start pairing. A congrats to my PIC Jen for a congrats for she got an ovulation last week. Got an ovulation. It was crazy. Very, very dope. Exciting moment for her. I'm hope, what I'm saying, everything come out all right. The eggs come out all right. The mom come out all right, man. Make sure you get that egg box and everything prepared for what's coming next. Other than that, I was supposed to bring another chondro into my collection, but sadly, since the government shut down, I couldn't come up with the rest of the money because the military not getting paid. So I couldn't come up with the rest of the money. The person that I was purchasing the snake from said, like, yo, I gotta move this chondro, all that stuff. I was on the payment plan. I think I paid between $2,300-$2,500 already. The snake was like $5,000. I asked him, can I roll the money over to another clutch, in the future or something? He said no. And unfortunately, 25,000, not thousand, but 2,300, 2,500 money just went down the drain. So hey, it sucks to suck, but that's what happened when you just deal with things. It is what it is. I just know not to do business with that person anymore. You just live and learn in this chondro game. But without further ado, hold up, man. Let's see who in the Chizzy chat, man. What it do, Mike? What it do? What it do? Then John, what's going on, John? Hope everything good. Hey, make sure y'all check out More Forge Wednesday night. They got Mike and Melissa over there. Make sure y'all tune in. Those are my people right there. We got Kevin. What it do, Kev? What it do? Appreciate you tuning in. My boy Elias, what it do? What it do? Thank y'all for tapping in. Oh, it's a wild Shonda. What it do, Shonda? How you doing? What is it? Don't start a lie. Don't start that. Everybody saying what's up to each other in the chat. Yeah, man. Yeah, 2,500 is a pretty penny. Seriously, like I said, I just know not to do a business with that person again. It's unfortunate because like last year I spent at least about 8 bands with him, like 8,000 with him. Um, and I thought, our relationship would continue, but that move right there just solidified everything or whatnot for our relationship. It is what it is. Uh, More forge. Everybody saying what's up with each other. Hey, but without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Kyle. What
Yeah,
it do, what it do, brother.
what's good? Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Hey, like that's crazy. Like I seen your page before, and it's just like so vibrant. I like the pictures, all the photos, and then I didn't know that. Like I know you was doing emeralds, and
Yeah,
then you came out with chondros later, or something like that. Like when I was following you, I was like, oh yeah, I gotta have you on, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I've had chondros longer, but I put them on the back burner to like get all my emeralds together.
Hmm.
And before long, it was just like, damn man, I'm not giving these any attention on the gram to start sharing this stuff. So
Right.
yeah, but
For
yeah,
sure, for sure. Where you based out of?
Auburn, Washington now. So
Washington. Okay.
yeah, I was born in Washington and raised, and then I moved to Florida in 2013, and I was there for 12 years in
Mhm.
Pensacola. So just decided, with all the kids and all that, and
Washington
everything.
State, correct?
Yep,
Okay.
Washington State. Yep. So yeah, when we had our fourth son, and we had no family down there really. I have an aunt and uncle down there, but outside of that, like nobody. So we came up here last summer, and my wife's like, "Is it time to come here?" It might be. And then literally, we got home, and I talked to my real estate agent, started making things work. So we're back up here now.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Man, I visited Washington one time. I had a event to do up there, a field event with the military. A JBLM. I don't know how far you're away from JBLM.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Man, I'm terrible geographically. I feel like I've been more places in Washington since like after I moved to Florida. Like I would
Mhm.
come up here and we would go do things and see places that I'd never been to when I was growing up because I was just always like on the island that I grew up on or around there. So I'm still learning the state that's been my home for like the majority of my life.
Yeah, right. How far are you away from Seattle?
About 30 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Not
Okay.
at all. Not at
Yeah.
all. We went to the Seahawks game last Sunday. My
Mhm.
mom took me because she got season tickets, and it's the first
Oh.
game I've been to since like 2004.
Mhm.
So, but it was just a quick jump in the car. Let's go. We found parking, and yeah, it was like 30 minutes.
Mhm.
So
That's
yeah,
dope. That's dope. So tell us about your background. Like, how did you get started in the whole snake business and hobby?
yeah. So I guess growing up, I had like newts and stuff.
Mhm.
You get fire belly newts real easy when I was a kid, and I always had those. And I kept them on those like bright blue little pebbles for aquariums and stuff, like
Mhm.
probably all the wrong way. And I don't know how many of the same like one I had because my mom, I think, would just like replace them when they passed away. And like catching frogs and stuff. But I never really kept reptiles as a kid, and it wasn't until I moved to Florida that I was like, man, I'm trying to see some alligators. I haven't seen one since we've been here. And I started visiting like alligator farms and stuff. And this one that I was going to had like a little snake exhibit, and I was like, check that out, and went in there and got to like hold a yellow anaconda, and like he had all sorts of stuff like berms and stuff that he had permits for before they got prohibited. And I went home that day and I was like, I want a yellow anaconda. I started looking around.
Hey, you going full collector right there.
For real. I was like, I don't but and then you start like looking, like, because Google was the only source I knew to find information about snakes at the time. So I'm looking into, oh shoot, what up, Michael? Find information on yellow anacondas, and it's like, yeah, you gotta do this, and they're not good for this. And I'm like, maybe I just start something more basic. So I ended up getting a ball python off Craigslist, and
what year was this?
This was 2017. So I haven't been keeping it super long or nothing like that.
Gotcha.
But I got the ball python, and still, I don't think I was in like many snake groups on Facebook or anything. I was probably still getting info from Google and all that, but I was able to keep her content enough that I would never see her. I know that.
Right.
And, have to like open the tank and get her out just to see her. And then she was fasting for a long period of time. And I'm like, man, come to find out later on, it was a male.
Was it like what kind of ball python was it?
It was a Hypo Mojave is what it was sold to me as.
Oh, okay.
So, but when I was like, I remember when I was looking like into different types of snakes, I was like, man, a green snake would be cool. And then the first image that popped up was a northern emerald. And I remember seeing those like in magazines or something as a kid. And like Point Defiance Zoo in Tacoma, I think it's Tacoma, has had like northerns back in the day. And I just remember seeing them. Like it was like a flashback when I seen it. I was like, man, I got to have one of those. And then, so go to Google and see what I could find on those. And they're, $3.99, but sold out, which is good because by the time I got like looking into all the information that I could find, it's like they're mean, they're nasty, they carry disease. And I'm like, okay, so like we just step back, see what we could do with like a beginner species, and then go from there when I'm ready. And also like in that search popped up green tree pythons. Well, so I started posting this ball python on my Instagram and stuff. And my friend from high school reached out to me and she was like, yeah, my husband's just getting back into snakes too. You should connect with him. I was like, well, what's he keep? And she's like, green tree pythons. I'm like, oh shoot. Okay. Well, her husband is Randy Pagese.
Randy, good person.
Yeah. Randy and I grew up on the same island. I grew up with his brothers. Like his brothers was just like a couple years older than me. He was like more my brother's age. So I didn't go to school with him or anything or have like, get to talk to him much growing up. But so I reached out to him and he's like, man, that's cool or whatever. And he put me on, started telling me like, well, when you're ready, let me know and I'll point you in the right direction of who to get, chondros from and all that.
Right. So,
it didn't take long to get locked in on the ball python, like where everything was good. And I just got like to where I wanted more interaction without having not more interaction. I want to be able to see them.
Yeah. Artwork, because like they are like basically artwork. On that perch and
art. Yeah. So about the time I felt comfortable, I was like, all right, I'm ready, and Randy pointed me a couple people and started talking to them and ended up getting my first Neo, which was the yellow neonate, the Aru Jayapura.
Mhm.
And I got that from Ryan Burke at Clockwork Reptile.
Mhm.
And then, man, I no, I had to step back a bit because I also got into carpet pythons at the
Oh,
before yeah,
everything sparked your interest on.
exploring the Morelia complex. So my second snake was actually a Brettles python,
Mhm.
and he was cool as hell, man. I remember I got him out of the bag. He curled up in the comforter on my bed and just started striking at me, and I was like, "Whoa, that's dope."
Right.
Even though I'm not trying to get tagged by him, but it was real cool. So I got a little experience with Morelia before the carpet, before I was comfortable with the bringing the chondro in, and that's when I did that. So by that time, I had the ball python, the carpet, and then I got jambalaya, which is that yellow neo, and she is the dam to two clutches now. I did a repeat with her and uh, got babies from her or eggs from her again this year.
Oh, congrats,
And,
congrats with that, man.
yeah, thank you. And then my I think I got a few more carpet pythons after her, and
Mhm.
then I had seen like Kino's page and all the Cyclops stuff on there. I'm like, man, I want Cyclops.
Like, shout out
So,
to Keynote, shout out to Trap, the whole, Control Bar Room.
yeah, we missed the
All
bar
that.
room. We missed the bar room.
Seriously. Hey man, y'all need to go ahead and bring it back from 20 for 2026. Y'all bring it back, man.
Yeah.
They be having all the old heads on there.
Oh yeah, man. They got some great guests on there.
Yeah,
Always a good conversation, clowning. Everybody's
right.
clowning each other. That was the vibe. But yeah, so I reached back out to Ryan at that time, and I was like, "Hey, I'm looking for Cyclops. Do you have anything?" He's like, "Yeah, actually, I got a few of them over here." And so I saw the one I wanted. I pulled the trigger on it and
Right.
put that in. And, so that was, I think, probably early 2019 is when I got those in because they're like 2018 Neos.
And
And
what was jambalaya again? What locality or
Aru and Jaipura.
okay.
Yeah.
Arboreal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The like I'm all about reds now, but
Mhm.
I think it's a common theme across the board for like new keepers. When you see a yellow neonate, that will draw you in. And I
Exactly.
think a lot of people don't care about having red when they first get it because a green tree python is beautiful, like in its natural green and
Yeah.
blue dorsals and all that. So,
Right.
um, but after that, I chilled on the chondros because I was like, all right, well, I'm keeping these chondros. I got to find emeralds now. And so I was talking Ryan Wallison's head off and Harlan Wall because Harlan had done some importing and like cleaning them up, but he was not trying to do that anymore because the time and like energy that he spent establishing the emeralds for them to be ready it wasn't worth it to him. So I'm like, all right, well, US captive born and bred it is. Like, so
Mhm.
I was in Ryan's DM like all the time, just talking, and then seeing how he was keeping. And all right, well, when you have some, I want them.
Right.
Um, I was at work one night and I get a message from Randy, and he's like, "Hey man, are you still interested in northerns? Because I've been on Ryan's list for a while, but I don't want to bring any new species in right now. So do you want to see if you could get my spot in line?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, dude!" So I message Ryan immediately, like I'm on the clock and everything. Stop everything.
Right. Everything stopped when a new
Yeah,
state opened up. Everything stopped.
right. That's right. So I'm like, "Hey man, I heard you got some emeralds." He's like, "Who told you that?" And I was like, "Randy. He was on your list, but he told me, I could take his spot." He's like, "All right." Dude, he hit me with like 4 or 5 pictures, and I'm like, "Okay." That's the most money I've ever spent, probably on anything aside from a car.
Right.
You know, but
Literally.
I made it work, and I got Magnolia in, and that's my first emerald. She was a 2018 Suriname. Yeah, Publix could wait at the time. It'd be Costco. Costco made
Right.
me wait now, but yeah, Publix, you know, run it up. Yeah, you get paid to do everything there. So,
That's
but
all I'm
so then I got her in, and after that, it was like, you know, the she came in 2019.
hmm
I I was talking to him pretty early on, like maybe a year or two before I even was able to get a northern from him, because that was the first thing I learned, like when I started talking to Randy, was like, you need to get in with these people and like
Right.
network and talk to them, because when that stuff comes available, you know, just because it's available doesn't mean everybody's going to have the opportunity to get it, basically. And
Right. Right. You got to
so
be plugged in with the right people, and like you just not going to sell, a snake that you work hard on 3, 4, 5 years. You know what I'm saying? You grow up the Neo,
yeah,
to adult, mature adult, that take about 4 or 5 years, 6, 7 years. And then they have, the babies. The babies take maybe about like a year, 3 months to get established real well. But then like you just not gonna give that Neo to anybody, You're
right,
not gonna just give it to John down the fucking street. Like, I don't
yeah.
know you, you know what I'm saying? I don't know you.
Yeah,
So
especially looking at it from the perspective of I saw it. Uh oh, this is just a New Orleans shirt. I'm not a Saints fan, but New Orleans is one of my favorite cities on the earth. When I was in the the Gulf, I spent a lot of time there, but when I was single. I love it there. And
yeah,
if Publix was there, I would have just up and gone over there when when I was down there. But yeah, I love that place.
right.
So what were we talking about? Is oh yeah, that's what's up. Stay safe, stay safe down there.
For sure, for
But yeah,
sure. Yeah,
that's
stay
the
safe.
spot. That's the
Right.
spot. Um, yeah, from a perspective like breeding and selling animals, you know,
hmm
uh, it's not always like the people I would expect to be serious about buying, just the way they like slide into my messages, and I'm like, oh, this
hmm
person don't really want this. And then the people who you think might be serious are going to ask you for pictures, and they're going to ask you for this and that, and then ghost. And it's just like, okay, whatever. So my thing was that I was just trying to get, you know, in the back of this person's head and let them know I was serious without like bugging them. And that, you know, that's a fine balance to find. So, you know, there was a handful maybe of people breeding them
hmm
at that time, and it was like Ryan, Keith McPeak, Warren Booth, and those were all people that I messaged. And you got to read the room too when you're talking to them, because they're OGs, and like they're not gonna
Yeah, because
they're not
other
gonna
people have
listen.
been on their waiting list for years and years, and
Yeah,
you think you just about to get one because
yeah.
you came in brand new into the hobby or
Mhm.
whatnot.
Yep. So, but after I got that first emerald, it seemed like, you know, the opportunities just started popping up a lot more frequently. Like the next one was Keith. Keith had posted one saying it's available, and like it was like 2 minutes before I saw it, and I was immediately in his DM like, "Hey, is this available? Okay, I'll take it."
hmm
Um, and then that gave me an opportunity to get another one. And I like to say Keith is you know, everybody knows Keith is a solid dude and he's an OG. Um, I can, you know, I'd give testimony that he is a legit stand up guy. Like the emerald I got from him had like a scale, almost deformity on its belly. and he didn't catch it before he sent it out. So I just asked him like immediately when I got it, like, hey, do you know what this is? Like what happened? And he was like, man, I didn't even see that. I don't know how I missed that. I feel like an idiot. And he's like, do you want your money back? Or do you want to keep that one? And I will send you a 2.5-year-old female.
Mm.
What? Say less, dude. I don't want my money back. I love this emerald for one. It does,
Right.
you know, the little thing on the belly that ain't a thing as long as it's gonna live. But like a 2-year, I'll take the 2.5-year-old female.
Right. Right.
You know, and granted, that was a couple of years after I got Magnolia.
Man,
So
still, what up? What up, Randy?
what up, Randy? What up, fam? Yeah. So that happened, and I'm like, man, this guy's legit. And yeah, so she was about the same age as Magnolia at the time too. So I had already 2, you know, halfway mature females that I was raising up, and then this red Neo that I had got from him. So and it just kept trickling from there. Like the opportunities popped up. I bought the emerald, and I've parted ways with like one of those, and it was only to get another Ryan Wallison animal later on. He hit me up, and I was like, well, need a male, so if you got a male, I'll take it. And so yeah, pretty much all of those are still with me. I've raised them since, except for Katrina, the 2.5-year-old that I got from Keith. I've raised them all since babies, and they had just been coming to maturity in the last couple of years. So
so what is the maturity age for emerald?
I would say at the minimum 5 or so.
Okay.
For a female. I think that's a safe number. Males
like a year older than a chondro, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, even like I wouldn't, because I didn't breed my chondros until they were 5 either. But I think, you know, like now raising neos from the jump, and like the way I feed, because with the emeralds, I've always learned like less frequent, larger meals. You know, they could take a lot more than people anticipate. So, and then when I was establishing my chondro neos, it was kind of the same thing. Like, you know, I didn't want to give them red hots if they would take something larger, but you know, obviously you have to kind of like gauge their body size and stuff and see like, is this thing really going to be able to handle this, or is it going to just cause issues? So my first clutch of chondros, I established all of them. Their first meal was a large pink.
Yeah.
So
was that an easy feeding trial?
That one was pretty easy. I got, man, I think I got 14 or 15 in that clutch. And I think only 3 or 4 of them had to be assisted. And looking back, I probably wouldn't have even assisted them now. I would have just waited until they shed out, because you know.
Okay, so do you let them like go through their shed first, like when they first come out?
So first shed for sure. And then
dude. So Justin.
Short.
Yeah, man, they call me Mr. Short Shorts, man. Most of the time I have on short shorts. Most of the time, you know, above the knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But yeah, no, first shed for sure. And I think like as of recently, I'd like to try and get them through their second shed, but I mean, they're not, you know, if they're not growing to like.
And that's for like both of the species.
Yes, and this is why this might be jumping forward a little bit, but like my first chondro clutch, pretty easy to establish. Second first emerald litters between both of them, easy to establish. And then my third, it was like my emeralds were just nothing. Like there was nothing there. Like no, they were striking when they like from the time they were born. My wife was in there taking video, and they're hitting the glass. Bah, 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 these little babies. Right. She's like, I'm afraid to reach in there. I'm like, oh, good. That's going to be easy to establish them. Nah,
still not. Yeah.
Nope. They were born in late February, and shit, they didn't take their first meal until we moved here in July. Till we were like settled in, and I started trying again in July. And during that whole time, they weren't losing any weight or anything like that. When we were still in Florida, I was like kind of freaking out because we were leaving in mid-May, and I was like, I want them at least like eating before we go.
Right.
I don't want to get there and them all die or something. But so I had started like trying to assist feed them like pink heads and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And at some point it was just like they're fighting like with everything they got not to eat. So I'm gonna just leave them alone. We'll get through the move, and then when we get there, I'll try again. And so they maybe got assist fed once or twice each before, and then we just let them be. And then we got here, and I looked in the tub one day, and I'm like, this one looks ready to go. So I offered frozen thaw first. That didn't work. Mm-hmm. So I looked up the pet shop where I could get live, and I went and grabbed some live mouse hoppers and gave every one of them, like there was 5 in that litter. I gave every one of them a live mouse hopper. Come back a little later, 2 of them are gone, and then the other 3 were just like running around. So I pulled them, and then I try again the next night. Well, so we got 2 down now, and then I'm like, okay, well, maybe give them a little more time and let a week pass. Try again, like 1 more would eat, mm-hmm. and then let another week pass, and then the other 2 ate alive. So I'm like, okay, like I think maybe I'm jumping the gun on trying to get them to eat when
jump starting them. Yeah,
because if they're coming out, and they've absorbed everything, and they're probably just fine. They'll eat when they're ready. So I kind of like have looked at things in that perspective now, whereas I feel like sometimes I'm setting myself back by trying to assist. Mm-hmm. Maybe, it's not a good experience for them. It just stresses them out more. So, and I say that now, but when the babies come out and you're looking at them and you really want them to live, it kind of puts you at a crossroads there.
Yeah.
I do need to get.
I don't want this thing to perish. I could do things to help it further along its life.
Yeah.
And I don't want to walk in the room and then it's dead, and then like, dang, I should have fed it. I should have fed it.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that we deal with as breeders. My first clutch, my first ball python clutch, my female that laid the clutch passed away maybe a week and a half after she laid her clutch.
Oh, damn.
And she ate and everything. I'm like, yo, what happened? She bounced back good and all that stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, you just never know. Like,
you just don't never know
what's going on with them. So, but so I mean, like, and then that's another like the fine balance, because with a baby chondro, and that was the thing with the emeralds, was like I had an emerald. There was 1 bad feeder in my second litter, and I assist fed that thing for a whole year. A whole year, no lie. Yeah. And there was so many times where I was like, man, I'm about to just let this thing go.
Right.
And I could have, but I just kept going because it was a nice one. I wanted it to live, but you know, um, and then seeing those
Still
other,
living? Is it still living today?
yeah. After we got here, left it alone for like damn near 2 months. Offer it a live hopper, and boom, hits it immediately, like in the middle of the day. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. And don't get me wrong, I did offer it live in the beginning too, but it wasn't ready. So I
Maybe
just,
it was just that switch, you know, that moving switch, different atmosphere, different climate, and then you know it just had to cross some state lines, and that's it.
yeah, it
You
could be anything like that. But after seeing what those other emeralds did, I would definitely go to say like assist feeding that one probably held it back. Like a chondro, you know, you assist feed it a few times, usually it's going to take off on its own.
right. It's gonna
That's
switch.
my
It'll only
experience.
take maybe about 3 or 4 assist feeds,
Yeah,
you know, max probably, and then
yeah, and
switch.
then you get to see it; they're ready to go. But
Yeah.
the emeralds, they see you after you assist feed them, and they're just like, "Get the fuck away from me!" So they you know, kind of take a different approach with that. Like I'll probably still assist the chondro that's lagging behind. I don't want him to get too far behind, but the emeralds, I'll probably just let them be.
Yeah.
Just let them be.
So one of my biggest questions with the emeralds, like what do you look for in the Neo and be like, oh yeah, that's going to be a good one? I have some pictures. Well, matter of fact, I got this picture right here.
Yeah. So for me, the thing that drew me to emeralds to begin with was the big ass lightning bolts, like full connected dorsals. So I always look for that. But they can be really deceiving too. So there's Neos, and I might have sent you a picture or one of them where it, like, as a Neo, that thing you would think would be like the best of the best emeralds. Yeah, that's my most recent litter.
That thing
So
look amazing, bro. That thing, sheesh.
yeah, but
Like that.
that's the thing, is like on a red backdrop, that white really pops. But not all of it is what I would call true white scales. So the white that's there, you know, the true white scales, pure white, just 100%. And then there's like the kind of dull white. And in my experience, like I most of my first litters, I kept them till they were green, and some of those that you would have thought would be like the best of the best as a baby, that the kind of duller white, or there's like a little bit of green scales surrounding the white, and that almost makes it look like more bold than it's actually going to be. And that's not always the case too, because the white can continue developing as well a little bit, you know, up until that color change. But they're not like basins, where basins just continue to grow the white scales. So like that there, you could see what I'm talking about. On the lower portion of the body, those white scales really pop, and on the upper portion of the body, they got kind of like a bluish tint to them.
Right.
But even then, like some of that just meshes so much with the green as it's coming in, that you couldn't see it up the neck. And so when people are talking high white emeralds, they're not only talking about, you know, how wide those dorsal marks are, but how high the white goes up the neck.
Okay.
So you know, Ed
Is
Marino.
that the goal with emeralds? Like the more higher white, is that like what everybody look for?
I think a lot of people look for the high white, but there's people like Chris Rice. Chris Rice is doing like the anaconda stuff, and then he'll get you know, more aberrant patterns, and you know, there's yellows on some of them, there's blues on some of them. I just don't think that they've been really tapped into enough for anybody to look for otherwise, and then I don't know if you know Keith Flax. Keith Flax might have been on
Yeah, I
Con.
heard of him.
He's got this emerald that he got. It was like a captive born to a wild caught pair, and that baby had black all over its body.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, when I okay, and there's the one I was telling you where I as a baby I was like, man, I'm keeping this thing forever, and I ended up letting it go like a couple months ago because it just didn't turn out how I anticipated. A lot of those scales on the outer edges of the white turned green, so it just kind of it ended up being like really thin crossbars.
Okay.
And I want like nice big wide ones. I personally am still pursuing like high white, but then I'm seeing other traits in my animals that are other things I want to pursue, like the female, my long-term captive Guyana female has like a couple yellow scales on the back of her head lobes. And I've seen it in another Guyana animal I have too, and it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, it's not a whole lot now, but I've seen people breed for white head spots on other ones, so maybe the yellow head spots could be something to that, or I have like some higher yellow animals. Actually, I'll get one out really quick.
Okay. Ah, there we go. Mm-hmm.
I don't know how good my lighting is. Yeah, my lighting's terrible in here, so you might not be able to tell. But like this one here in good lighting, its yellows go like a good way up the side of its body. And then it ended up having like really nice big crossbars.
Yeah,
I think it was probably the best.
Look real good and healthy.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and they're docile as can be. I mean, I've hardly got tagged by any of these babies. I haven't even got tagged by my wild caught stuff, and they've been with me a couple years now. They're big. I treat them all with respect, so I don't get tagged, but they don't really seem to have any interest in biting me for the most part. Catch them at the wrong time of day, I'm sure, but you got to read body language anyway.
Yeah.
So this one has yellows higher up the sides, and then a half sibling to it. This one is a half sibling to it, and this one, it's hard to see them, but it has a good amount of like yellow flecking throughout the body, like real yellow scales too. And it's just you could find any reason to hold them back, and I just really like, while I'm breeding for high white, I'm looking for all that other stuff too to see if anything can come of that, because I still have all the adults, and I will repeat litters, or I got some other up and coming male, another up and coming male and females. So like I got a good amount of diverse blood to start like intermingling things, and just see where it can go. But
and with emeralds, like, is it lines like you say the anaconda? So what does like the anaconda line like look like? What
the anacondas are where, so when you're looking at like just a typical northern, and it's got the white crossbars on its back, a lot of the time under the yeah, it does. Under the crossbars has like a darker green color, like around it, or sometimes it could be like little black flecks that look like
Okay.
some lightly spray painted it. Um, and the anacondas have, they don't have the white, so they have the markings still, the darker green patches down their back, but they don't
Mhm.
have like the white dorsals on them. So there's those, and then there's patternless that just usually doesn't have like any pattern at all, whether it's the dark
Mhm.
green or. But those are pretty rare to come by.
Okay.
So so like anacondas are still, um, you don't see them as often.
It's
So
still something that's being played around with and
yeah,
developed.
yeah, like over here, Chris Rice and Warren Booth
Mhm.
produce anaconda phases. I think Warren's produced the anaconda phases. I know Chris does. Chris has a lot of anaconda stuff,
Mhm.
so that's cool too. Um, but for me, I just like the typical like northern northern look for now, and then basically, I mean, as I'm producing things and able to sell things to get things, then
Right.
I'll start branching out and get other stuff too. But it's like I would, if I was gonna do an anaconda pairing, I'd want to do like anaconda and anaconda.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. To make more anacondas out there in the emerald world, and
Yeah,
you know, just just experiment with it.
yeah. And so as far as lines, there's really only one line, and
Mhm.
that's the Miss Willie line, and that was Rico Walder's line. And so a couple people have those. Ryan has that. MJ has that. But not many people have it. It's hard to come by. Um, I've been I've
And
been in.
what does that line look like?
So that line has generally like really bold white dorsals, and the white goes like all the way up the neck, like
Mhm.
real high white all the way up the neck. You don't see that much in other emeralds, just because that, as like about midway up the body, it'll start to dull out into that bluish color.
Mhm.
So um, that's a special line, and it's highly sought after because there's only one Rico, and he's gone. So there's
Right.
what's left of it is what we have, and a lot of times people aren't going to want to part with that either, because they're producing some crazy stuff with it and seeing where it goes. So
Right. Right. So we got some Neos that you well, all of these snakes you produce, but we got some Neos, some Chondros, and that thing is banger. That thing is nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
that one, that was 10. I actually, it's funny because I have posted a whole back chondro and a whole back emerald the other day
Hmm.
on Morph Market, because I'm trying to get into another project right now that would cost me a pretty penny. But so I posted this Neo now, like a couple pictures of it now, and then I posted a picture of it as a baby, and that's the baby I posted. Well, just to tell you how like cloudy my memory is throughout the move and all of that, it was the wrong Neo that I posted for the last picture, and a dude messaged me and was like, "Yeah," he's asking questions, and he's like, "Is that the same Neo? Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And then I go back on my Instagram, I'm like, "Oh shit, it's not."
Yeah.
But so that Neo and one other yellow Neo,
Yeah.
I actually
I got
lost. That's 10 right there. So I
okay.
lost that one during the move.
Oh man, how did you lose that one?
I'm pretty sure, unless I let two of them go before I left Florida, and
Hmm.
I don't think that was one, because I was planning on holding it back. But basically, I have like adults. I have the long term captive adults. Then I have neos that I produce,
Hmm.
and so I wanted to make sure that like during the move I kept all of them separate. So what I had to do was bag them all up, and then put them in separate totes and
Yeah.
then run the heat tape. And I had my Herp stat hooked up to a battery inverter. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But a battery inverter in my truck when we were driving up here, because we took 2 trips. We drove twice. We drove the kids the first trip, then they stayed with my mom, and then we came back down to Florida to get the rest of the snakes and like all the cages and stuff. Power inverter. Thanks, Kevin. And so anyway, during the trip, things went pretty good. Like when we would go into a hotel, I'd just bring all the totes in there and then just make sure nobody soiled their bag. And if they did, replace their bag, all that, check temps. But the tape, was on, I had it like under the tub and then over the tub and then under the tub and then over the tub, or not over the top tub. And I think, if I'm correct, the Neos were on the bottom, but something happened, and basically that snake and one yellow Neo, the striped yellow Neo from that clutch, it seemed like they climbed up like all the way to the top of the bag away from the heat and might have spent too much time away from heat. So when we got here and I started unbagging everything and putting them in their individual tubs, those 2 were gone. So I lost.
Man.
2. Yeah. Yep.
How far was the drive?
It's 3,300 miles. So that trip was 4 days. It took us 4 days because we had the baby with us and we were staying in hotels and yeah, dude, we stayed in a lot of hotels moving up here. The first trip
a lot could go wrong with that 4 days without the proper environment.
Yeah. Oh, and that'll bring me to a funny story too after we get through this. But yeah, so I lost that one, but I did end up switching the picture because I went a little further back and I was like, damn, dude, you're right. I'm so sorry. I don't want to like misrepresent anything. But yeah, I lost that one. And then, so that one is one that, Paul Holt, I don't know if you know Paul Holt. I think his is like, Creature Features Minnesota or something like that.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I never heard him, but
he got that one from me. And, I think it turned out to be one of the nicer ones in that clutch. Yeah, that blue is electric on it.
Blue, then those black speckles on the head, on the neck too.
Yeah, it's retained those pretty good. So yeah, I like when he posts updates of that one because I always look at it and say, "Damn, that's one of my snakes." And then yeah, that's a yellow Neo from the first clutch I got, and I sent that up to Virginia, and that guy hit me with it, and that was the last Neo that I got established. Completely counted it out because I was like, man, I'm so tired of this thing, like trying to get it to eat and all that. And then it started eating, and you're established now, you can go. And because I kept 4 from that, and it was 2 reds and 2 yellows. But yeah, the way the blue popped on that one too, I was like, damn, I wouldn't have. But I guess I could have assumed that. Yes, that's the Arboreal Cyclops pairing.
Look like it.
So yellow.
How about this pairing right here? What was this one?
That's the same one. That's a sibling.
What?
Yeah, that's a red Neo, and the other was the yellow.
So both of these are siblings.
Yep.
Oh, totally different. So you can get so much variety.
Yeah. Even in the Neos, I had several rotten bananas. I had blazes. I had some really dark red one. I know, Mike. I hope that baby turns out good. But yeah. So just a lot of variation. I kept in that first clutch. I kept the lightest red one, and I kept the darkest red one, and then I kept a a rotten banana, and then a stripy one. But I've since parted ways with the yellows.
Okay.
Probably to get more reds.
Mhm. Understand that. I definitely understand that, man.
Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to bring up. So that female right there just had a litter, basically.
That was my second litter. So that was a 2024 litter.
What I'm saying in that
That
in the
picture?
photo, yeah.
Yep. I took that picture.
And she
So,
still looked massive. Like it.
yeah. I think she was overweight, and I think that might have something to do with how small the litter was, because she got really huge.
Mhm.
There was a period of time where I was just feeding her large rats, and like, so I usually feed them mediums, and then I noticed when I fed her like 2 or 3 large rats in a row, and that's all it took for her to get like rolls, like on that
Yeah.
middle gill there under her snout.
Mhm.
She has like creases even to this day. Like I stopped feeding her large rats and like cut it back for a little while, and they just kind of stuck around. I think she was just over conditioned. And maybe she just genetically,
Like
was
that.
inclined to have small litters, but she was not really meant to eat large rats like that.
Gotcha.
She was just a big female in general.
Am I echoing?
No, not that I
Oh,
can hear.
all right. Just making sure. But yeah, that's a nice females, you know.
Yeah. She was definitely like, you could hardly tell she just had a litter.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So our EV Boys can get overweight so fast. Okay.
yeah, I agree with that. That's for
The
sure.
same thing with my chondro. Like I feed her small mice, not mice, but small rats.
Mhm.
And like I just dial it back to like maybe one every 2 weeks
Mhm.
or whatnot, or one every month, because she just get massive, like big. Because I was feeding her one small rat I'll say about every 10 days.
Yeah. And
About every 8 to 10 days, I feed her a small rat. But now, like she just big.
yeah,
And she only like coming on 3 years, coming up on 3 years. So I gotta I toned it back, and I just feed her like once or twice a month now instead of 3 times a month.
you definitely, you definitely have to find a balance. So like when I first started keeping, the big push, I feel like, from a lot of people that I was talking to was like slow grow, just grow them slow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was basically like I would give them normal size meals, but space it out like pretty far. So, by the time they hit a year old, and I could be, I think I was feeding them like every 3 to 4 weeks at a year old, but not like a real big meal. And there was a point in time where it's like they hit 4.5 years old. I'm like, dude, I think I screwed myself. Like I don't think I fed this female enough that she's going to be ready to breed when she
Sheesh.
gets a little mature. Right. So, damn, I don't know what kilograms translates to.
But that's a
medium rat every 2 weeks.
medium rat every 2 weeks. That is big. That's ball python size. that's ball python stuff.
Yeah, and it's 2,000 grams. Okay. God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. Yeah. My wild-caught Guyana, thank you. My wild-caught Guyana girl, when I got her in, I was like, damn, this thing is big. Like her head is huge. She's got to be over 1,000 grams. And I weighed her, and she was probably like 900 grams at the time. I'm like, oh, so I can only imagine 2,000 grams is
right.
big.
I'm about to make a switch over to ASFs because, well, ASF everything, because basically the economy is crazy right now. Government shutdown, not getting paid. So I have no choice but to start, a colony.
Yeah.
Or maybe two colonies, because I only have maybe about 25 snakes, most of them adults. So
yeah,
probably maybe 3 colonies. I'm gonna do 3 colonies of ASF. I'm gonna see how that goes for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
man. But bring us to pairing season. Like, how do you figure out what you want to pair, what you want to make, that stuff like that?
So in the beginning, basically my chondro pair was
what? I never heard of ASF being mean. But rats, yeah.
When I did my first pairing, it was because all of a sudden my males started going off food. I'm like, something around here is going on.
And
I had to figure out which female it was. So I took my my Cyclops and put him in with the Arboreal, and like immediately they were going at it. So that was just like, I don't know, luck as luck would have it, because I just so happened that my first chondro was a female, my second chondro was a male. They were relatively close in age, raised how I, they were used to how I do things, where I would like, cool the room a little in the winter, and then bring temps back up. And, I was like, that year I was starting to think about, like, I wanted to breed the Cyclops to my Biak. And, so I actually started like feeding heavier and everything before, and then I took them off food and then brought them back on a few months later, 3 months, I think. And the Arujaya started doing her thing. The Biak wanted nothing to do with him. Like, she attacked him a few times. I just stopped trying with that. But I wasn't even planning on breeding that pair, because when I was getting ready to, like, when I was planning on my pairings, I weighed the females, and the Biak was like 700 grams. I weighed the Arujaya, and she was only 483 grams. I think that comes back to, at 5 years old. So, and I think that comes back to like what I was saying, where I was wondering, did I screw myself by not underfeeding, but not feeding heavier?
Yeah.
Because she was on small rats monthly for like 2 years before that. But dude, 15, I think my numbers are kind of, it was 15 in that clutch. She gave me 15 fertile eggs. All 15 of them hatched healthy babies at, maybe 500 grams.
Oh man.
Yeah. So like maturity over size, I think that has a lot to do with everything. What weight? I don't know. I've never weighed a male.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
as soon as a male start cruising, cruising his enclosure, then it's time. You know, because you could just sense
or something.
You could sense when a male it's about that time, because that's what my male, he about 3.5 years old. It's time for him to breed, but I don't have nothing to breed him to. So he just roam around his cage. I gotta keep him active, or he just gonna, rub his damn nose off.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta keep Yeah, feed him, make
I
sure
feed
he
them
good
pretty
and stuff.
sparingly. My males are nice and lean. My females are, they still got good muscle tone, but I definitely feed them larger meals. I wouldn't necessarily say more frequently unless it's like time to food cycle and stuff
Yeah,
like
that
that.
time. Yeah.
So I think like, you know, feed them good for the first 4 or 5 years of their life. So you
Mhm.
don't have to worry, like they have like good muscle tone and all of that. And then, when you go into pairing, you feed your females up a little bit, get some fat reserves on them. And males, I mean, feed them the same,
Right.
maybe even less because they'll be a little more active. And that's how I go about it. So
Mhm.
basically, I'll going into August to November, I'll ramp up food just a little bit, like whether it's feeding them a smaller meal every 2 or 3 weeks instead of a big meal monthly,
Mhm.
and then I'll cut food from November until February or when they start actively breeding, which typically I haven't had to withhold food for that full time because they'll start actively breeding. And then when I separate them, I might give them a small meal, give them a few days off, and then put them back together.
Okay.
So, but like my males will just go off food completely while that's going on anyway. So they ain't gonna eat until everything's over and done with. Um,
Gotcha.
so
What's your female to male ratio for the chondros and for the emeralds?
females, without I haven't probed my holdbacks from that 2023 clutch, but I got 2 and 2 on those. And then female emeralds, I have 5 females, 2 males.
That's
So
good. That's a nice ratio. Good
yeah,
ratio.
and
It's
then
nothing too big. It's nothing too small either. You
yeah,
can rotate the males out with the females and pretty good.
yeah, and then I got an equal amount of male, like 2 female, 2 males of the ones that I've produced, and then the 5 babies I haven't even checked. But so that's why I'm just trying to have a good balance there on that. I realized I found my threshold for how many snakes I can keep comfortably this year, because having two clutches of chondros and one litter of emeralds, and then going through a move, and then
Yeah, that's
trying to get back in the rhythm with 50 snakes. I can't do it. And 4 kids,
yeah.
family, and work, and all that shit. I can't do it. So I
Yeah.
think I'm better off a little closer to like 40.
Exactly. No,
Oh
I,
yeah,
I definitely feel you. I
yeah,
definitely understand that. That's why I keep like a small clutch. A small collection because I like it just being a hobby. I don't want it to be a job.
yeah, exactly.
Something that I have to work, every day for and all that stuff. Now
Yeah.
that I'm incorporating the rodents in it, that's something else new, that
Mhm.
I have to take care of and all that stuff. Do you breed your own rodents or you order
No,
them?
because I have such a small amount of stuff that likes live. Like I I went and got in a little glass aquarium and like a hide and a water bottle or whatever, because I'm tired of driving 30 minutes every couple of weeks or whatever just to get 5 hoppers for them to be gone and then have to go back again.
No,
So
serious.
yeah, I grabbed some little like rodent chow, and if something doesn't, I'll feed them, and then I'll have enough for like the next feeding
Mhm.
until they're done with live. Hopefully, I can get the last 3 off of live soon. And then I have one adult who's never ate anything but live,
Mhm.
and I can tell you, if she is not an active breeder when the time comes, she's gonna go, because I don't I'm doing the live because I really love the way she looks. She's rude, so I don't really like the way that she is. But I would love to have offspring from her because she's a really nice northern. But yeah, if that's not what it is, then she can be somebody's pet or something.
Right. And do you primarily just feed rats, or do you do ASFs or mice?
Just mice and rats.
Okay.
Chondros get a mixture of mice and rats, and then emeralds only get rats, except for the babies that want hoppers. Because hoppers seem to stimulate them better than if you get a live rat pink, there's not enough movement for an emerald to want it. So if they're not going to eat that right off the bat, like a frozen thawed rat pink off the jump, and you offer them a hopper, usually that's what they'll start on when that's not an option.
Okay.
So,
All right. So back to with the chondros, like how do you prepare your egg box?
so I have the XL sim containers,
Mm-hmm.
and I run a sea serpent's hot box. So what I do, I have 6 holes drilled in the tub or in the sim container, and then I'll tape off 4 of them. Just cover 4 of them with tape and leave 2 open. I use 1 part water, 1 part water, 1 part vermiculite for substrate, just to maintain the moisture and kind of be able to keep an eye on the water level in there so it's not splashing. But the vermiculite, I don't know if it really helps, but it's the way I've done it every time. And and then I just use the little egg crate that comes in it, and they'll suspend over that, and then I'll put them in the hot box at 86.5 and straight bake it. This last time I did straight bake at 86, and I didn't notice enough of a difference. And I think I might have even, it was just too long of a stretch between the first baby hatching and the last baby hatching for me. And it seemed like the last ones that came out still didn't absorb all of their yolk. So I decided I was going to just stick to the 86.5 straight bake.
Yeah.
But that's worked for me. The 2 clutches that I hatched were 100% that way. And then my 3rd clutch, I don't know if you know about that one. I call it the alley-oop clutch, because that was when we were. Hey, real quick, let me get my computer charger because I'm running low.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine, man. What it do, chat? Hey, man, we finna get ready to come up on our end of the year episode. December, I believe it's like December, the first week of December, the first Monday in December. That's we're gonna have our end of the year show. We're gonna take off the rest of the week. Rest of the year or whatnot. So, who would y'all like to see on the show that first Monday of December? Who would y'all like to see on the show? Message me, or you can just put it here in the chat, man. But yeah, me and Jen decided we just going to spend time with our family for the last 3 weeks of December, man. And then we're gonna kick it back off. All right, then, Santos. Good night, man. Peace and blessings to you, brother. But yeah, man.
Okay, cool. I'm charging now. Sorry, I didn't realize how fast my battery would die. I charged this thing all night.
No, you good.
So the alley-oop clutch is the my pure Biak pairing that I did. And we were planning on leaving Florida in July. Um, and the way things fell, we got an offer on the house like real quick, and they wanted to close in May. And we're like, we can't do that because we're moving across country. We don't have everything laid out like quite yet. We got 4 kids, so we can do early June. And these people are like, okay, we could do that. And it hit me at that moment that I was like, I'm going to have to incubate eggs driving across the country. And so like, I talked about that on the Trap Talk with MJ, because I had done that right before Daytona. And they were like, wait, you're going to try to incubate the eggs driving in the truck? Don't do it. Just find somebody to incubate them for you and then have them ship you the babies or whatever. I'm like, you got a good point, because I had talked to Ryan Wallace, and he had done it with some pancake tortoises. And he just drove like a short distance with the incubator. And I think he said from like maybe from the turbulence in the cabin of his truck or whatever, just going across town or whatever, most of those tortoises came out like deformed and like all jacked up. So I'm like freaking out. And Tucker Wester at Purple Rain Reptiles.
Oh, yeah, that's my boy Tuck.
My boy.
Shout out to Tuck, man.
Tuck. And he messaged me and was like, dude, just ship me the female, and then you can get her when you get here. And I'm like, you think that'll work? She was like 7 days from her anticipated due date.
Right.
Like it was real close.
Right.
He's like, I don't know. What would it hurt? Like, I'm like, you're right. So I took her nest box, because she was like not in the nest box yet, but chilling outside of it for a few days. And then she went in the nest box. I'm like, dude, she's going to lay any day now. I took the whole nest box, put it in an insulated shipping box, and she overnighted him to her. And she got there. She was healthy looking. She was fine. He put her in a tub in a rack, and dude, within like a week, maybe a week and a half, she laid the clutch, and it was like 10 beautiful eggs. I was like,
hell yeah.
So Tuck incubated that clutch for me.
Hey, shout out to Tuck, man.
Yeah, man. So
Dylan. Shout out to Dylan too, man. You can't mention Tuck without Dylan.
That's true. That's fact. Shout out Dylan too. I finally got to meet Dylan when I got up here. I went to a show with them and kicked it with them all day. So I got nothing but love for them. And so Tuck with the assist on the alley-oop clutch.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 9 of them hatched. I want to say, no. It was one turned out to be infertile, and then one was dead in the egg. So 8 of them hatched.
Okay.
Dude, they're beautiful, beautiful red neos, all of them. So that's a really special clutch. And I got to just waited until they had their first shed and got into our house, because we got here a month earlier before we were able to move into our rental. Right. So I waited on that. And then me and Tuck met up at that show. We were the only ones in the whole, Pac Northwest reptile show with chondros, and none of them were for sale. Like people were constantly stopping by the table like, oh my gosh, I've never seen something so small. Like you will never probably see neos this small at a show again, because they were like 6 days old.
Oh my.
6 days old when I was going to get them from them. So not 6 days old, 2 weeks old, because they didn't have their first shed yet. Yeah, they had just hatched like really, really soon before that. But yeah, Randy was there too. We're all like,
that's dope though. That's
baby
dope.
neos and stuff. So that's a really special clutch. And I'm blessed that they were pretty easy to establish, because man, it was just having 2 clutches in a litter during that stressful of a time only made it so much more stressful.
Yeah.
And we moved into
how far are you away from Dylan? Not Not Dylan, but Tuck.
Tuck's in Oregon, so I think he's like a couple hours from me.
Okay.
I haven't got to make it down there yet, but
Yeah.
we'll have to link up soon.
Definitely. That's dope.
Dylan's only like 30, 45 minutes from me, something like that.
So with hatching day, are you like a cutter or you just let them pip?
I let the first egg pip, and
Mhm.
then I make a small incision, and that I got from Mike Majoro. So shout out to Mike. Mike,
Mhm.
I was talking to him all through my first clutch, and like, oh look, he said, just when the eggs start to dent, just pinch one of the creases a little bit and just make a tiny little V incision in it, and that clutch went very smoothly. So I'll do that forever. But yeah, so I'll cut after that first one pips, and then just let them do their thing.
Yeah. So like when you picking out your chondros, like what do you normally hold back, with your neos?
I look for the darkest neo with the gold dorsals is like
Mm-hmm.
my favorite phenotype for a neo, and then a lot of time I would pick out the opposite too. So like in this alley oop clutch, there was two really maroon babies with gold dorsals. I was like, okay, I'm keeping those for sure. And then there's one, that one.
Mm-hmm.
And interesting about that one and the one other I'm talking about is they
It
were
look like a female.
shit. I couldn't tell you that thing's it's really
Yeah,
small. It's
female.
very small. It started off kind of rough because that one and one other had like a buildup of excess fluid on the eye, on one
Mm-hmm.
of their eyes. And the first one kind of shed it out. It had two, and when it shed, one of them went back to normal and the other didn't. And then this one here kept the fluid on the eye. So then I started reaching out to people and asking, like, is this bad? What do I do in this situation? And some said, like, you could take a hypodermic needle and just puncture a certain part of it and drain the fluid, or like let it shed out and see what happens. Randy told me to let it shed out and see what happens. And I went to Walgreens and I got the needles because apparently it's just normal to walk into a Walgreens in Washington and ask for syringes and they're going to give it but clean needles, I guess, but
Right.
I
You
couldn't
need
do
those.
it. I couldn't bring myself to do it when it came time. So I was like, fuck it, man. I'm gonna let them shed and see what happens. And like this one didn't want to shed. It shed, like it skipped its first shed
Mm-hmm.
and then looked like it was going into shed again. And then I'm like, I can't wait anymore. I'm gonna give it a gizzard because it was really small. And
Yeah.
when I grab it behind its head and its skin started peeling off. I'm like, oh, so you were going to shed. So, and that didn't really help the eye. And then I took some saline spray, like wound wash.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just, in the day when I come in to mist everything else, I would just squirt them in the eye with saline, like that one and the other one. And I think the saline helped a little bit, and eventually it went away, and then they shed for real and started eating after that. So
what it took them like maybe 4 weeks to shed?
yeah, that one in particular. Everything else had its first shed normally. That one skipped its first shed and then had its second shed, and so all the rest of them had their second shed like normal. But they were ready to go. I mean, like I went in here to feed them and looked at them, and there was no like, they were just chilling. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be tough. And then just like tap them on the side of the neck, and then all them things were hitting these pinkies like nothing. Most of them I don't even think I gave a lot of them chick down. Like there was maybe 2 of them that took chick down on the first one.
Mhm.
Um,
Never
but
mind another one. You
yeah, that's Jazz. I call that one Jazz. That's 2302. Wait, I got the tag. Yeah, 2302.
Mhm.
And that was the lightest red in the first clutch. Um, but it had some nice like yellow dorsals too. So I kept the darkest one and I kept the lightest one from that. And
Okay.
that they're both pretty cool. They have cool eyes too. Like Jazz still has like really reddish orange eyes. And the
Right.
other one has like super dark eyes.
Mhm. Gotcha. Gotcha. So what is your goal with the chondros? Like what's your go-to phenotype?
I really like that classic like blue outline dorsal like the one Paul got. I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Um, I like melanistic and high yellow stuff too. That's cool, but ultimately like um, I've just been kind of like breed them and see where they go, and then see if I catch anything that's unique, and then like if it's something
Yeah.
that I can continue like to further, then that's what I'm going to go for. Like both of those 2 holdbacks reds that I got from the first one, they're all nicer than my Cyclops. My Cyclops turned out to be like the greenest snake I've ever
Mhm.
seen. Probably like you can't even see his dorsals really. Um, the mom, she's pretty. She's pretty as can be. Not super high white or nothing, but these ones have like some big clusters of white scales down their back, and then um, they got some black flecking. Almost have like it. It's hard because I don't know what I'm seeing, because I'll look at them in person and they'll look one way, and then I'll take a picture and they look different.
Mhm.
If that makes sense, like I'll put them in whatever lighting, but like almost like the blue on their bellies comes up pretty far where it kind of looks like a blue wash sometimes. I don't know. But ultimately like make nice snakes and use what I produce to get other cool snakes. So like Tuck and I did some trading, and I got one of his him and Dylan's joint pairing Bill's Biak Neos.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we had
Yeah.
four.
Miss McGonagall. Miss
Yeah,
McGonagall.
yep.
Yeah.
One from that pairing. So I just want to have like cool stuff that I can outcross and just try and make real cool looking chondros on.
Dope,
But
dope.
like Red Maniquari, that's
Mhm.
on my list of something I want. John Leckie animals, something I want. Thomas Budway animals, like those, they all look cool to me. So um, I don't know, man. It's I just kind of go
Yeah.
where I go and go from there.
I don't know,
Yeah.
like the more I get in, the chondro hobby and stuff, the more I deep dive. I like more of the melanistic and like artifact type looking animal.
Yeah. Yeah, where
Like
they like green green diamonds on their back because their body is so like blue wash, but it's like
yeah,
a
yeah,
wild still. I love that look. Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I mean, like every animal I produce, I hope to get something that looks similar to like what I really wanna go for, and then eventually
This
I'll be able
one,
to just buy the ones I want.
this one is artifact sarong to Cyclops. I don't know if it's gonna catch it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So this is like one of my favorite. That probably is my favorite chondro. This a
hell yeah,
female from Mike
yeah.
Eminem more. Eminem.
I love that. Yeah, I
So
mean, like the Cyclops the classic Cyclops look
Mm-hmm.
really drew me in. So obviously I'd want some Cyclops stuff, and man, that thing's fire though.
Let me
I
try
love
to
that.
a little bit more.
Yeah, I see it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I look for right there. That dorsal
Mhm.
blue with the outline diamonds. And yeah, that's what I like right there. It'd be it'd be nice if it had some melanism in it and stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, like at this point, I have never seen an ugly chondro, and just getting like the subtle things for me, because like they're I'm producing captive bred chondros.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Edgar too. Edgar's my dog.
What's
But
going on with that? What is
um
that?
I'm
That's an emerald in his photo. Yeah, an emerald.
yeah, Edgar's got emeralds, some northerns. He's got one of mine over there too. The one eye. He hit me up the first time he saw her, and was like, "Man, if you ever decide to let her go," and I was like, "Man, I don't think I'm going to," but
Mhm.
I had an emerald in that second litter that was born with just one eye, but that
Oh,
thing's been a beast since day one. It was cool. He called it Mike Wazowski, like Monster Inc.
yeah.
My light's in too. So yeah, as far as everything goes, I just want to keep producing cool snakes and be able to afford cool snakes in the way that I can afford them now with
Don't we all? Don't we
like
all? Because I definitely understand you with that, man.
it's good though, because that's how, like, I truly keep it a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then you're
And
not
don't
like
get too
dipping.
wrapped up in the business side of things.
Yeah,
Whatever politics whatever politics they got going on, the hobby as a whole, don't get
yeah,
caught up in that.
yeah. Don't dip into your life savings and all that to
Yeah,
buy snakes.
right.
Keep it on its own thing.
Taking a loan out on your house to, they'll go purchase some snakes. Do not do that, y'all. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I guess the light here is brought something to mind, is that in Florida I had uh put up a building in my backyard just
Mhm.
for the snakes, and it had its own mini split in it that I hardly ever had to run, because I did like insulation and stuff. It was as nice as any room in my house. A fan always running in there, and then you got Florida humidity for the most part if you're not running that AC too much. Where my room was like running itself, and then now I am in my garage,
Yeah.
and so that's been something that I'm like, I kind of stress about. Like, maybe I'm trying to keep the humidity higher in here, but it's naturally colder and drier in
Yeah.
Washington.
So,
So like I'm running a heater in here constantly because I do ambient.
yeah. One moment. So you have like concrete floors, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, is anything else on your garage floor?
No, not really. I mean, I got all my
So
cages are on rolling racks.
yeah. So with that, you can spray water on your concrete floor and then
Oh yeah,
use.
I do that sometimes too. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
all right, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Like
mist the floor because I
yeah.
got that little humidifier back there, because I hardly ever needed supplemental humidity in
Mhm.
Florida, and now I'm like, maybe I need
Right.
to look
I
into
know that.
a room.
It's blazing hot down there.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll even like try and keep a little bucket of water in here and stuff too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's different because I don't have ambient light anymore, so I use a hue light bulb to like kind of simulate sunrise and sunset.
Yeah.
And then for the first time in 4 or 5 years, I have lights on my cages, but those are for the plants inside, mainly. But yeah, so it's a unique change for me. Kind of worries me sometimes, but I think I'll get it figured out, dial it in. I insulated the door, and the garage itself is insulated pretty good, but they get like power outages through the winter here.
Mm-hmm. Might got
So
to get a little backup generator, just a little
yeah,
one.
I
Something
do got
like
a generator. I bought a generator for hurricanes in Florida and never used it because we never really had a whole lot of hurricanes where I was. So
What's the lowest you get? What's the lowest you let the ambient temp get?
So if I'm trying to like let it cool down a little bit, I'll set the heater to like 74 at the lowest.
Okay.
I already probably keep my temps a little lower. Like the babies, I'll try and get their tub to 85, but for the most part, everything else I'll keep 80 to 82 year
Gotcha.
round, and then go as low as like 80 during the day, during the cool season, and then just drop the temp at night a little bit more. So like
I see a lot of people going towards the ambient temp now. Like I keep all of my stuff ambient,
Yeah.
unless if they're gravid or something like that.
Mhm.
That's when I give them a little heat. But other than that, mostly everything is ambient. Yeah, that's about it. I guess because in the older days we was taught, had to have a light bulb on top of the fish tank and
Yeah.
all that good little stuff. Or it gotta have heat. But maybe we was overthinking it and overheating these animals.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like my mindset with that, a lot of it came from like emeralds. When I was learning about emeralds, that they they were like, you would keep them a little bit cooler than chondros. Like
Mhm.
whereas like I would keep my chondros 84 on the hot side, I would keep my emeralds closer to like 82. That's just how I was taught, and it's crazy because I had, everything had radiant heat panels, but I only had like 2 or 3 of the Pro Products panels, and then the other panels I had were the Reptile Basics ones,
Mhm.
and I had those in like some Sterilite tub setups. Like if you've ever seen my Sterilite tubs, for adults and stuff, I'll always like, if you've ever seen the Python portals that David Brahms used to make, where it's like
Yeah.
a frame with the sliding glass. Well, I had the Python portals early on some tubs, but I kept getting tagged like every time I try to open the glass. Like by the time I got the glass open, my chondros were out hitting me in the knuckle.
Mhm.
So I really wanted to do like swinging doors instead. So I started getting like PVC trim for a house or whatever, and I would make a frame, and then I would route out the inside and put acrylic doors and hinges and stuff. So like my tubs will open either down or out,
Mhm.
on the front of them, a lot of them. And where the hell was I going? That yeah, I had the those setups, and then the Reptile basic panels. And after Jamбalaya's first clutch, I had the babies in the incubator, and I went to like try and feed her or something, and I noticed she had like a slight wheeze. And my
Mhm.
room was really cool because my AC was, I, I had the Mr. Cool mini split that it's like on Wi-Fi, and my thermostat kept sending signals to the mini split that I
Right.
didn't have programmed. So it was like constantly cooling, and I would come in and be like, "Why the hell is it so cold in here?" And I
Right.
had to like disable all the Wi-Fi stuff for it to run right. But she had like a slight wheeze, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" So I took my infrared thermometer and hit the panel, and the panel wasn't running. and it was probably for days. I'm like, oh shit, like these just failed on me. And I checked the one next to it, and that one had failed too. I'm like, man, I gotta figure something out, because I don't want to have to, like, worry about. I run herp stats, and my herp stats have always been trustworthy. But if the heat source is not, working, then you just don't know until it's too late sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's when I made the decision that I was gonna switch to
ambient.
And once I got the mini split figured out, I actually ended up running a heater in my snake room more than I had to run the AC when I was in Florida.
Right. Right.
So I just ran it that way, kept it cool, like I was telling you, 80, 82 high, and then if it naturally got up to 84 in the room or whatever, I wouldn't sweat it. Once it hit like 85, 86 in the room, it wouldn't be for a long period, because the AC would kick on and cool it back down to like 80. So it was staying in that like 80 to 84 range throughout the whole room. And then what I started doing was, like when I have a female that ovulates, if I want to give her supplemental heat, I just put a deep heat, Arcadia deep heat projector bulb on it, because I didn't want light beaming down on them if they're not used to light already. Like,
yeah,
they're used to the natural light. So I would put that bulb on top, and they would go bask under that and then go back. And like that system has worked great for me. I've used that like 3 times now, and got good clutches and litters out of them. So I'm trying to stick with that. Of course, when I get the opportunity to buy a house again and have a yard, I'm going to put up another building, because that just worked out for me. But make it work now.
For sure. Just like in Louisiana, it was so hot and humid, and I ain't have to really run no heat at all, in there. And that's when I made the choice to go ambient. I ain't really had to run no heat. The hottest the room got probably was like 85, like you said, 86 or whatnot. And then, it dropped down to at the night, maybe around 78 in the room.
Yeah.
And then if I wanted to, drop temperatures a little bit lower, I just turn the air AC on real quick.
Yeah. And I just try and like really work with the natural swing of things too. Like if it's getting cooler outside and my room doesn't have to, then I can just drop it on the heater. Drop the temperature that the heater's trying to get up to, and that worked out really well. It's just the rhythm of the room when it comes to that. And but yeah, so it's we're coming into like the cold now. Like it's getting down in the 40s here. My room is still staying, the garage is still staying pretty good. My heater's probably running more than I want it to, but that's just what it is. It's not much different. It's funny because when you're in the South, everybody's like, oh yeah, like you should have the easiest time breeding there because the humidity. But like if your room gets hot and you have to cool it down with the AC, you kill that humidity like immediately.
Right.
So
literally,
figure shit out. But so I didn't I didn't plan on pairing anything when I got here. For one, because I want to try and give everything like another year off, let them acclimate. And also I had like the 50 snakes that I couldn't keep up with. And now that I've dwindled those numbers down and I see my male northern cruising, I'm like, maybe I'll try and get a litter.
Yeah, right. He cruising. He needs something, bro. He needs something.
Yeah. So
right.
We'll see what goes on with that. And my male chondros have been cruising a lot too, but both those females need some time off, I think.
Yeah.
No rush on.
Yeah, Cal, but we come up on the end of the episode. You know what I'm saying? We definitely gonna do a part 2 soon. because
time flew by.
we still gotta, we still gotta go with the emeralds. You know what I'm saying? We really touched on the chondros tonight, but we normally do about an hour and a half. We ran a little bit over that because I don't want my guests to be sitting for 2-3 hours.
No, I feel you. Time flew by, man. It's been good chatting with you, for real.
No, seriously. But what do your ideal chondro look like?
That are facts around that you just pulled out. Man.
Hey, mine too. Mine too, bro.
Yeah, those sharp triangular dorsals with the blue wash down the side, little white,
Gotcha.
You throw some melanism in there too, but yeah, that look could get me alone. Yeah, for sure.
Sure. But yeah, man. Hey, everybody, give it up for Cal, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate all the support.
Yeah. Like I said, we're gonna schedule a part 2 soon.
Okay.
Because like I said, we just really touched on the chondros tonight. We still got to go through pairing with emeralds, and because I'm ignorant to that section. I'm ignorant to that section. I don't know nothing about emeralds, and hey, maybe you could get me on the emerald train.
I'm always down to chat. And yeah, if I can put your first emeralds on your mind, man, I'm here for it. The more the better.
So,
all right, y'all.
Thank y'all. I'm gonna put you backstage real quick. I'm gonna say bye to the people real quick.
Okay.
What it do, fam? Hey, man, we went over this probably one of the longest episodes that we had. We still have more to cover. You know what I'm saying? That's still a great thing too, though. But thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for another great night. I'm finna to enjoy my week. My birthday is in 2 days. So, and life is good, turning 33. Hey, thank y'all for coming through. Till then, talk to y'all later, man. Peace.
Chondro, corner where we rise and grow. Twist and turn, let the passion flow. Chondro, corner watch the future shine. Every scale a story, one of a kind.
From the shadows we move, striking out bright. In every twist we find the light. Breeding the best, gotta have patience in this game. Chondro corner where we make our name. Chondro corner, Chondro corner, Chondro corner, Chondro corner, Chondro corner, Chondro corner, Chondro corner. Chondro corner where we rise and grow. Twist and turn.